and let us all do we can to build a better future. So there's a lot to take away from this story here. I don't see anything really happening with it, and it's just a name that's being dropped. But former President Donald Trump says he'd consider having Tucker Carlson as a potential running mate in 2024. Well, okay, let's really talk about this, because I remember having a conversation about if Joe Rogan or Tucker Carlson would ever throw their hat in the ring to run for president. And the thing is, well, there's nothing stopping anybody from running for office. I mean, Cenk Uygur is a prime example, even though he will not get on the ballot and the Democratic Party will not help him out. But anybody can run for office, including people like Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson. And let's face it, because of our sick system, you need to have money backing you up. Money is key. Money now. But the thing is, and I remember making this argument, that Tucker Carlson could, or Joe Rogan could run for president. But then they lose so much of their power. See, it's one thing to be an elected official, and yes, you are sitting on a throne, be it as president or vice president. These are key positions of power. But you want to know what else can make somebody powerful as well, and that is this. And it's very simple. Being a voice. Tucker Carlson has an audience. Joe Rogan has an audience. And with that audience, you can have a say in regards to how politics is being discussed. Current events are being discussed. But this is probably Trump shooting from the hip, saying things, just to garner more attention. And no matter what, no matter how this plays out, I mean, Trump is a master at keeping his name in the headlines. Trump says he'd consider Tucker Carlson as a running mate. So former President Trump said he'd consider Tucker Carlson as a potential running mate. I like Tucker a lot. I guess I would. And this is what Trump said during the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show this week. I think I'd say I would, because he's got great common sense. When they say that you guys are conservative or I'm conservative, I'm not. It's not that we're conservative. We have common sense. We want to have safe borders. We want to have a wall because walls work, yada, yada, yada. Carlson, of course, let go from Fox News, which was a stupid play on Fox News' part, because as soon as Carlson left, Fox News, like CNN, will eventually become a sinking ship, and Tucker Carlson took his millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of viewers with him, which is why now he has approximately the most successful platform on X, formerly known as Twitter. So, and by the way, Tucker Carlson was able to have more viewers in his one-on-one interview with Donald Trump than viewers who turned in to the first Republican primary debate. Now, it's one thing to talk about this. Let's play this video here.
Would you consider Tucker Carlson on your VP list? I want to give you a hypothetical here. You're a big sports fan. Like Nick Saban's going to retire at some point. And if you talk to the athletic director at Alabama, he would say he has a list. So would Tucker Carlson be on your list of potential VPs? And how many names might be on that list as you sit and look and survey the political field?
Well, first of all, I did my first, you could call it counter programming, but I won't call it that. But Tucker wanted to do an interview during the first debate. And I think because this is what your business is, we broke every record.
Monster audience.
In history. Yeah. I think it just hit over 300 million people. But it was for that evening over 207 million. It then got to 275 within a day or two. And the biggest ever was Oprah's interview with Michael Jackson, which was 125 million. So we almost doubled it. Now, who would have thought that was going to happen? The last debate they had the lowest audience in the history of presidential debates. I don't know if you know it. And I think the one tonight it's on tonight, and I don't even talk about it.
Would you consider Tucker, though, that they based on those
I
numbers?
like Tucker a lot. I guess I would. I think I'd say I would, because he's got great common sense. When they say that you guys are conservative or I'm conservative, it's not that we're conservative. We have common sense. We want to have safe borders. We want to have a wall because walls work. You know what, Ron, I used to say about walls? I'd say wheels and walls. Everything changes. The computer that you have in front of you in about a month from now will be totally obsolete. Right now, you have the finest equipment in the world. And in about a month from now, that equipment will be obsolete. The only two things for centuries that's not obsolete are wheels and walls, right?
That's pretty good.
No, when you think about it, right? A wheel will always be a wheel. It's never going to change. In a wall will always be a wall.
And it'll
walls
work all the time.
Yes, there is a border crisis. And there's a reason why there is a crisis. All right. Just to break it down. Yes, I know we have a diverse audience, and I'm very proud of our audience, be it from Trump supporters to Democratic voters. Yes, liberals watch this show. I think we get more hate watch from liberals than we do get from Trump support, which is great. So the Trump people, you've been far more reasonable than the liberals. We got libertarians who watch the show. We got Greens. We got socialists. We got people who don't want to vote, period. And from all the generations, boomers, Gen Xers, millennials, Gen Z, all of you wonderful people, including you liberals. Well, let's be clear. The border crisis, again, it's because of U.S. foreign policy in Central and South America, the sanctions, the regime change wars, the coups, and yes, the war on drugs, which is causing political instability and hostility and the rise of cartels and civil wars and all sorts of other horrible, horrible things. And a rational person who's raising a family or just trying to live in a world that's understandably out of his or her control, doesn't want to be in the middle of a war zone or in gangland territory. So of course they're going to leave. They're going to run as fast as they can away from said bad place. That's why there's a border crisis, because of previous Republican and Democratic presidential administrations. But nonetheless, let's continue on.
No, walls. Remember when they were saying walls don't work?
Yeah. And
remember walls?
Joe Biden's got a wall at his beach house, by the way.
Yeah, and he does. And by the way, there are a lot of other walls. Nancy Pelosi has a wall also. And if she didn't have a wall, of course, it didn't work that well with respect to the husband. But, generally speaking, it would work.
So that's Trump just shooting from the hip, saying he would consider Tucker Carlson as a VP. Would that be a smart move for Tucker Carlson to do? Look, I'm not going to tell anyone what to do. It probably wouldn't, because then he loses, his huge media platform. Now, there's a lot he could capitalize after a Trump administration, of course. So it's really up in the air, 50-50, But once you leave your media platform, let's say, again, nothing's written in stone, of course, because Tucker hasn't said anything like that nature, that he's going to be a VP for Trump. But you know what? Once you leave that, then you become part of the system. You become part of the Washington, D.C. machine. And I think Tucker Carlson has said it not once, but numerous times, and had been abundantly clear that he's not a big fan of Washington, D.C. or D.C. politics, because Washington, D.C. is a swamp. It is a cesspool of corrupt Republican and Democratic politicians and their sycophants and the lobby groups and the corporate interests. But it's interesting. And Trump, once again, knows how to get his name in the papers. No matter how this plays out, especially for 2024, it will be an interesting election year. It's not going to be the most important. Remember that. Hardlens Media is saying it's going to be the most interesting / hilarious 2024 election cycle. And one other side note, Trump could say his walls work, but the Aurelian walls were the best. And that's enough said. Until then, let's see how this all plays out. I'm hoping for some entertainment for 2024, and Hardlens Media will be covering it.